Yeah, thank you. It's great to be here. Paris is an incredible place. My second time now being here, and I really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed these last few days, being with the team, having dinners at spectacular places here in Paris. The country has so much to offer, and to be here and experience that, with my teammates and the captains and my wife, it's been incredible already. So it's been a lot of fun to be a part of this team, and yeah, it's been nothing short of spectacular for me already, and the competition hasn't even started. So the good stuff is yet to come, and I feel like I've already had a great week. So
sounds ideal. We're going to open straight up to questions from the floor. So anyone like to start? Just here, mic 1, just over the gentleman.
Tony, I think few golfers have got your kind of backstory. When you look back, if you could maybe talk about some of the challenges that you've overcome and just how proud you are to be sitting up there and wearing those colours.
yeah, I'm extremely proud of where I am, and just having a spot on this team. It's a dream of mine. It's been a dream of mine since I started playing the game at 8 years old. Basically very humble beginnings. My parents sacrificed a lot for me to be in this position. Just golf is an extremely expensive sport, and growing up, it didn't come from a lot, but my parents sacrificed a lot for me to compete, and my goals were their goals, and so my family is a big part of why I'm here, and they've given up a lot. So it's cool to look back and reflect on where I've come from, and now part of this Ryder Cup and this team is pretty special for me and my family. So I'm soaking it all up, and that's the advice I've got from some of the older guys, is enjoy it, because it does come to an end. This is my first of hopefully a handful, but this experience is pretty cool for me already, and to reflect back on some of the experiences that I've had, this is pretty special for me.
Just going to go to mic 2, just to David, just in the middle here.
Tony, over here. You're this side. You're one of the bigger hitters out there, Tony.
Yeah.
Is this a course that takes driver out of your hands?
Yeah, it is for the most part. I think I hit 4 to 6 drivers. I'll hit per round this week. Obviously depending on how many holes we play, of course. But if I were to play 18, I'd hit 4 to 6, and on the PGA Tour, I'm probably hitting more like 10 to 12. So in that aspect, it does take driver out of my hands. But it's a golf course that is you have to hit the fairway no matter what club you hit, 3-iron, 4-iron, and it's a great test. So it's going to be great.
Just going to go mic 3 with Doug. Yeah.
Actually, 2 questions, Tony. Firstly, of all the things you've done in life, whether it's getting your web card, getting your tour card, Puerto Rico, whatever, what single moment has given you the greatest boost of confidence?
Yeah, well, in my life, marrying my wife, because she's really beautiful. So that gave me a lot of confidence personally. I look at her every morning. I got pretty lucky. But in my golf career, this is up there, making this team. And you look at the guys that are on our team, you look at the guys on the European team. To throw my name in the mix is something that is really cool for me right now. So. Getting through the web.com tour Q school was a big deal for me, because it took me 6 tries. When I finally got through, I knew the opportunities and the window for getting to the PGA Tour and competing at a high level was finally available to me. And those 6 years were tough. Mini tour life isn't a glamorous life. The professional golf life, if you're not on the PGA Tour, is very tough financially. I was married, and my wife and I had, our oldest son already. So those were some tough times. So getting through qualifying school and having established a place to play through qualifying school, that was a huge moment for me as well. But I would say those are a couple that I can, that I have a lot of confidence, that have built a lot of confidence in me.
And the other one was your very first memory of Ryder Cup, obviously on TV. Do you remember the first one that really got your attention?
Yeah, it was hard to overlook the '99 Ryder Cup. I started playing golf in the summer of '97, and just a couple years later, it's still one of the coolest moments I think for our American team is to look back and reflect on that win, the comeback, and it being at Medina. Just it was a special thing for us Americans, but for me starting and playing and seeing how excited they were, I started to look at the Ryder Cup as a goal of mine to be on that team and to share some of those memories.
Just going at the front here, mic 1, Karen.
Tony, Jim said yesterday that because of your personality, you're someone he can put with anyone. And I was wondering if he's conveyed that to you and what that means to you that he would say that.
Yeah, I think, getting to know Jim very well this week has been great for me. He's someone that I've enjoyed watching throughout his career and I have a lot of respect for. So it's great to hear him say something like that about me. And I feel like I'm a team player. I grew up playing team sports and I grew up playing a lot of basketball and volleyball. So I know what it's like to be in a team room and to be in a locker room and have teammates and kind of around each other. And I feel like I'm pretty good at that. So yeah, that's great for him to say, and I definitely feel that way. I feel like I'm a pretty good teammate.
And I'm sorry, just one more quick question. What is it like to be a teammate of Tiger's? I'm sure there were a lot of you who wondered if you would ever have that chance.
Yeah, extremely special to be on a team with Tiger and Phil. Those are two guys that two of my golfing idols growing up, and I think pretty much the other 10 guys on the team can say the same thing. This is a special Ryder Cup for us, and I think it's a very special one for them as well. So to be on a team with Tiger and Phil is a dream come true. And this week I think we have that extra motivation to try and win one for them.
Just staying on mic 1.
Okay. Tony, we always hear a lot about growing the game and trying to expand it out to, different groups of people who don't normally have access to it. You obviously would be an example of that. How much just responsibility do you feel to kind of, try to spread, keep kids involved or people involved that don't normally do it, play the game? And can you point to any specific examples that, you run across kids that you see later and oh, they're playing high school golf or something, or, whatever?
Yeah, it's been cool. Something I'm really proud of is just seeing a lot of the kids that have been inspired by me just through similar backgrounds. And I definitely think the game can grow in those type of areas, the urban areas and in the States. Some of the third world countries. I think there's a lot of great athletes all over the world, and some of them don't have the access or the opportunity to play the game of golf, and I definitely didn't growing up. Just meaning we really didn't have the funds for me to play. Now looking back on how expensive this game is, but hopefully just my story inspires other kids and other families to know if there's a will, there's a way, and this game has a lot to offer. I've been extremely blessed to play this game, and I feel like I'm very early in my career and have already been pretty blessed.
Just mic 3, please, in the middle.
Tony, we've seen you play with Brooks each of the last 3 days of practice, which might not be a combination that a lot of people would have expected entering the week, but is there anything that's drawn the two of you together before this week or before you got to Paris that might lead you to combine forces?
Yeah, I played with Brooks for the first time in the playoffs just a few weeks ago, and we got paired a lot. We were paired together in the first 2 groups for, I think the first 3 playoff events. So we got to know each other pretty well, and so it was just kind of a late thing, more so than anything else. And the way I look at it, who wouldn't want to play with the 2-time major champion this year? So it's we're going to meet as a team and see what the final decision is. It's always up to the captain and to the captains that we have. So we'll see what type of decision that he makes. But that's it's been fun getting to know Brooks, and it's going to be a lot of fun if we end up being teamed up together.
Just going to go mic 4, please, to the left.
2 questions, Tony. Can you talk us through that par 3 tournament instance at the Masters? And have you had the motivational speakers in this week?
Sorry, what was the second question?
Have you had any motivational speakers into the team room this week from outside the team?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so just going back to the Masters, basically, it was one of the greatest moments of my life, you know, hitting a hole-in-one and, you know, my first par 3 contest at the Masters and with my family there. It's really cool. You know, obviously I couldn't contain my emotions. I took off running, and it was one of the coolest moments, you know, backed up by one of the most embarrassing moments in my life, you know, having sprained my ankle in front of everybody and having everybody see it and replay it and still talk about it. But I learned a lot from it. You know, I ended up finishing in the top 10 at the Masters still, and so I kind of learned a lot about myself, and you know, I can still compete at a high level. As far as
People in the team room.
yeah, we have some cool celebrities here, I think, cheering us on this week. No motivational speakers. I think you know, we understand the magnitude of the event, and most of us play pretty relaxed. But having other celebrities from the U.S. here to support us is pretty cool. I mean, Michael Jordan, you guys heard of him? It was cool to see him. You know, I think he'll be around this week. There's, you know, some other guy. You guys saw Samuel L. Jackson. He played in the celebrity deal last night or yesterday here. Michael Phelps, you guys have all seen him. So, you know, it's cool to see them in our team room and you just hang out with them. That's, you know, that's really cool.
Mike 2, please, in the middle.
Tony, you mentioned playing team sports. Many people in this part of the world would associate people of Samoan heritage with rugby. Apologies if you've been asked this before, but has that been an involvement at all for you or your family at any point?
Yeah, my dad grew up playing a lot of rugby, and rugby is the biggest sport in all the Polynesian islands. But I didn't play any rugby growing up. I played, you know, basketball and volleyball. But yeah, rugby is a huge sport in the Polynesian islands. You know, that's the main sport there. And my dad grew up playing. My younger brother plays, but you know, not me. I never played rugby. I don't know. I guess I was just so drawn to playing basketball and volleyball. I didn't really, you know, play rugby. Rugby was pretty big in Utah, but I didn't ever play it.
I'm just going to go Mike 1.
Tony, can I check, has your dad come across to cheer you on this week?
Yeah, my dad's here. I think my sister's here. He's not in here, but...
You talked about the sacrifice that he made. This must be a rewarding moment for him.
Yeah, I think this is pretty cool for him, for sure. It's got to be really cool for him. Coming from our golf background, we didn't have a golf background. You know, I don't have a golf background. You know, my dad didn't play, my grandpa didn't play. You know, rugby was kind of their thing, and so this is probably pretty cool for him, no question. I think he's going to enjoy this week.
Okay, we've got time just for a couple more. So just at the front, Mike 1. Karen.
How much, if at all, do you think playing the 16th hole at the Waste Management Phoenix Open will be good preparation for the first hole tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it's great preparation. That's about as close, I think, as it gets to a stadium hole, the number 1 hole here. But you know, this is a whole different deal. It's going to be a lot of fun. That first tee shot is going to be fun. A lot of that grandstands is huge. You know, I made sure I look back and check it out today, and it's gigantic. I've only seen grandstands like that at, you know, NFL stadiums back home in the U.S. So it's pretty cool to be able to hit in front of that many people, and you know, whether you're giving cheers or boos, it's going to be incredible. You know, the atmosphere is electric here.
Okay, we're going to go last question with Doug on mic 4, please.
What's the first time you got a free set of clubs, and was that a big deal to you?
It was a huge deal to me. The first time I got a set of clubs, I was 9, for free. Yeah, from our pro, who, you know, from the par 3 golf course, and it was just an iron set. I think it was only about 5 or 4 iron down to pitching wedge. Magique, I don't know if you guys remember the old golf clubs, Magique. I think they were made by Wilson. But I had a set of those, and I pretty much used those till all the way through high school until you know, some other companies stepped up and helped me out kind of as a junior after I was, you know, starting to have some success. But it was a big deal. Before that, my dad was, you know, at the pawn shop, at the garage sales, getting us, you know, wedges and all kinds of clubs. So that was a big. Yeah, I do. And yeah, my dad has it in his garage. Yep, still have the first set. So.
Okay, Thank you very much,
Thank
Tony,
you.
for your time. Have a
Thanks.
good week this week.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to be joined by Dustin Johnson now. Good. All right, let's get this done. Have a water? Of course. Have you heard of Majid? Okay, Dustin, thank you for joining us here today in the Media Centre. A fourth Ryder Cup for you. Here in France, it's obviously a stunning setting and a stunning course, but what have you enjoyed so far, or has it been up to your expectations this week in the team room and just the general atmosphere?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fans here have been great. It's golf course is really good. I've enjoyed the events we've had. Last night was a really nice event at the Palace, and to get together with both teams, and we had a really nice dinner. So that was a lot of fun. And it's I haven't been here, haven't played here, until I got here Monday, and but the golf course is really good. I think it's a really good test of golf. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. These matches, they're gonna be tough, especially alternate shots. Going to be, definitely be interesting around here because these fairways are pretty narrow, and you got to hit very quality shots if you want to, make a good score.
Sure. We're going to open straight up for questions then for Dustin, so if anyone wants to start. We're going. Doug, do you want to go in the middle? Mic 3, please.
You found yourself, I wouldn't say frustrated, but having to pull back reins on not hitting driver as much as you might on other courses, like Hazeltine last year?
This golf course is what it calls for. It doesn't really give you an option to do it. The holes, there's some long holes, but obviously a lot of the par fours they're not too long, but they play longer because they kind of limit how far you can hit your tee balls. But around here it's all about getting in the fairway. You don't have to hit a driver. A lot of holes, most of them really don't let you hit a driver unless, the fairways are really narrow where a driver would go. So, but, you can still hit, if you hit quality iron shots off the tee or 3-woods, you still can get some short irons in your hand, and, but you have to play from the fairway.
Just going to go mic 1 with Karen at the front.
Dustin, you've been practicing a lot with Rickie. If you two end up being a pairing, why would that be a good one, do you think?
Yeah, if we end up playing together, I think we'd be a pretty good team. We get along very well. I think our, the way we approach, if we are playing together, I think, we feed off each other pretty well, and we've definitely, we've practiced some together this week, so we're comfortable playing with each other. Whatever the captain decides, though, is what we're going to go with, and if I do end up playing with Rickie, I think we're a pretty solid team.
We're going mic 3 over here. No? No? Are we going? Anyone? Next question? I think he's a bit shy. We're going back to... Oh, here we go. Yeah, mic 1 just there. Thank you.
Dustin, do you think you've inflicted any kind of psychological blow by knocking Justin Rose back off the #1 ranking and reclaiming that coming into this week?
I didn't understand what he...
A psychological advantage of being world #1 instead of Justin.
Sure.
Enough said.
I guess it depends on how you look at it. For me, yeah. I like being 1.
And on that, we're going to go mic 3 over there.
How many pictures do you think you took last night?
No comment.
Karen, we'll go with you, mic 1, please.
Dustin, beginning in 2008, from that point forward, you had the most active wins on the PGA Tour, 19, until Sunday. Tiger actually tied you with his win, and I'm wondering what is your reaction to that he, of all people, would be the one to tie you after missing as much as he has?
Yeah, well, I mean, Tiger playing well, getting his first win in quite a while is, I mean, it's great for the game. It's great for me. It's great for everyone involved in the game of golf. Him playing well it's only good for everyone. So I'm glad to see it, and I want to beat him at his best. And I feel like right now he's starting to get back to where he's very good. And so, for me, especially when I first came out on tour, I mean, that was that time when he was playing his best. And to see him get back there after, quite a while off is, I think is very impressive. And I'm glad to see it.
You go Mike too, John.
I'm glad he's on my team this week too.
Dustin, have you been told you'll play all 5?
Excuse me?
Have you been told that you will play all 5 matches?
I have not been told. No,
Have you been told how many you will play?
I have not.
Okay,
I would imagine I'll at least play one.
We'll go Mike 3, please, with Doug.
For a guy who allegedly has no pulse, how did you feel at Wales in your first Ryder Cup, and what do you think it'll be like with an arena the likes of which a Ryder Cup hasn't seen before?
Yeah, I mean, my first Ryder Cup at Wales, even though the weather was, not great, it was still, an unbelievable scene around the first tee. And for me, it was probably one of the most nervous I've ever been on a tee box. I mean, I get nervous every time I'm on the first tee. But that one, I was sure glad that I was hitting a driver, for sure. It would not have been a fun shot with something else. Just because, for me, it was my first one. I was so excited, and, there's so many fans around, cheering and singing, and, the crowd, it was very impressive, especially being my first Ryder Cup. But yeah, I mean, I expect tomorrow to be, more. I mean, with those grandstands around the first tee and, all the people that are going to be there, it's going to be very exciting. I think the crowds here, it's going to be a lot of people out there. It's going to be a lot of people cheering for the other team, but I think we'll still have a good amount of fans out there. And, the crowd here seems to be fairly respectful. So obviously that could all change tomorrow, but I wouldn't expect anything less. It's, obviously you're pulling for your home team, but I'm up for the challenge. On the first tee, I'll be feeling it for sure.
I'm going to go Mike 1, just in the middle.
Dustin, the U.S., a lot has been talked about this streak of 25 years not winning a Ryder Cup in Europe. For the younger guys on this team, and for you that have played a few, what kind of motivator is that this week?
I mean, for me, that's not really the motivation. I don't really need any motivation. I'm coming here. I'm playing golf I'm representing my country because I want to win. I'm not coming over here just to play. I think all the guys on the team feel that way. We've got a really good group of guys. We're all very close. I feel like, we've got a very strong team. And, I mean, we're coming over here to compete. And I feel like it's going to be a really good match. I think it's, like it has the past few years or the past few Ryder Cups, it's going to come down to the singles matches. And I feel like it's probably going to be fairly close, coming into Sunday and coming down to the last few matches. That's kind of been the trend the last, few Ryder Cups are the ones I've played on. So I wouldn't expect anything less. And I think they're going to fight hard just like we are. And, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great week for golf, great week for all the spectators. And, you're going to see some good matches.
We've got time for a few more questions. So Mike 4 in the middle, please.
Dustin, have you settled on a putter and a putting grip that you're going to use this week?
Nope. I'm going to surprise you tomorrow. Yeah, no, I'm a putt, just like I was at the Tour Championship, left-hand low. And with the same putter.
Are we any more?
Not changing.
Any more questions here at all? I think we are done. Thank you, Dustin, for your time.
Thank you.
All the best. And we'll now have Brooks Koepka. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take water. Perfect.
Okay. Brooks, thanks very much for your time and joining us here today as well. It's, we've just spoken obviously to a couple of the guys and they've said what a great atmosphere it's been in the team room and being here in France. Perhaps your thoughts on the start to the week so far and your expectations.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, obviously, anytime you can get this group in one room and guys are, you know, telling stories, laughing and having a good time, it's it always makes it enjoyable. You know, we've only got Bryson and Tony, I think, you know, the rookies, and I feel like this group's been together for a while with President's Cups and Ryder Cups, and it makes it that much more special. But no, looking forward to this week. This golf course is in great shape. It's going to be a tough test. You know, you need to hit the fairways. The greens are pretty flat, so there's nothing hidden there, but it's definitely a first shot golf course.
Just talking about the golf course, I know you've played it previously, but this week, obviously, is it a different setup or anything that you remember that stuck out for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I remember everything. The golf course definitely doesn't play this hard as it does in the French Open. It's the rough's juicy. You miss just off the fairway, and everything seems to grow right into you. So it's hard to advance the ball, hard to get a good lie, anything you can really advance to the green, but and then you miss it even further. You're in the fescue, and you can barely advance it there. So hitting fairways is a premium, and you know, you kind of position yourself from there.
Perfect. All right, we're going to open up question 1 just in the middle.
Brooks, having played on 3 of these teams now and having won 3 majors since your last Ryder Cup, do you feel in the team room your role evolves a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely a lot different than it was, you know, the first Ryder Cup, being a rookie. Now I know how things go. I definitely feel like, not that my opinion really didn't matter in the first one, but it's definitely more important, but I'm more comfortable opening up now too. You know, the first one you're a little bit shy. You don't want to say anything and kind of get off to the wrong start, but now I'm definitely more comfortable with the guys, especially the captains, vice captains, because it's been pretty much the same guys for the last few years. And you can definitely, you know, voice my opinion, or you know, who I think I should play with, or you know, strategy or things like that, and it's definitely gotten a lot easier.
Just going to go Karen here, mic 1.
Brooks, how much can having played the 16th hole at the Phoenix Open, where you've won, help you for the scene that will greet you tomorrow on the first hole?
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I love it. I love it when you feel a little bit of nerves. You know, it's. I don't view it as nerves, though. I kind of view it as excitement, just ready to go. You know, you kind of feel like you're a horse in the gate, getting ready to go. It's just kind of antsy. I wouldn't really call it nerves, but then once that first tee shot goes, man, you're ready to go. The excitement you have, you're fired up. You know, you represent your country, playing for the rest of the team, and you know, it's bigger than just me. You know, you're playing for everybody else.
Just going to go mic 4, just over to the left here.
Brooks, 3 majors in, 15 months in terms of world golf. You're on top of the form charts in these massive, massive events. I think 1 or 2 European folk will probably be asking, how long can this hot streak last? So, how long can it last?
I don't see why it has to end. I keep doing what I'm doing. I don't see why it should stop. I feel like I'm playing really well. Tour championship wasn't my best showing. Just had one bad day, but I've been playing well, and I always seem to get up for the big events, and I shouldn't have a problem doing that this week.
Just mic 2 in the middle, please.
Brooks, who's had the best story so far in the team room?
It's more about laughing about stupid things we've done. Maybe not, you hear a lot of stories. There's a lot of golf stories or, funny things we've done, but we've definitely, don't mind poking fun at each other. If somebody says something, it's not the brightest. You're not gonna get away with it, and it's always fun. Got to be able to take it too, and we've got a good mixture of that with guys.
What's been the highlight for you this week, whether on or off the course?
I think what was it, 2 nights ago? We got away as a team. The girlfriends and wives, everybody. It was nice just to kind of sit around. We all sat around for probably like an hour or so. Anytime you get to do that with everybody, it doesn't happen that often, especially when you get like last night. And you've got Tom Kite and Michael Jordan was in there. Corey Pavin, guys, and they're just telling stories, and that's so cool. Michael was talking about how he'd always play, on the road and things like that against tough opponents or crowds that were always against him or whatever the case might be. And it's just funny hearing a different athlete's point of view or the way they would go about it, and then you can kind of take what you want from there.
Just going to go mic 1, please, over here.
Brooks, you must have a few good stories of your own from travelling around Europe when you were competing on the European Tour. What's your best one, and do you think this feels less of an away match for you because of the experience that you've had in the European Tour?
Yeah, it's definitely different. Starting over here, where I kind of found my success, found my game, really kind of developed into the player person I am today by coming over here. So there's definitely, it's nice to be back over to play, and I've wanted to compete in a Ryder Cup overseas, and that's always been a goal for the 2 years I played the Challenge Tour and European Tour. They weren't afraid to let me know it, so hopefully that can change this week. My best story from the Challenge Tour, European Tour? There's a lot of them. There's definitely some interesting ones. I don't think. Getting lost in Kenya, being in a taxi, and I thought the guy was going to kill us. He took us on a joyride. A bunch of guys hopped out of a gas station, tried to get in the car. I even called my family to try to turn my location services on, to try to tell them where we were at. We went out. If we were supposed to go left, we went right and went into it wasn't the best part of town, I'll put it that way.
It's going to go mic 3, please, in the middle. Just here.
Brooks, having played on team events the last 2 years, those were both at home. Do you have any expectation for just how different that environment is going to be out there for you specifically the next couple of days?
Yeah, I think it's obviously going to be a little different. I don't know what quite to expect. Obviously, you're going to hear a lot of, Europe chants and, cheering if you hit bad shots, whatever. I enjoy that. I think that's so much fun. Like you said, Karen said, it kind of reminds me of Phoenix a little bit, and that's probably one of my favorite tournaments on tour to play. And anytime the Ryder Cup truly feels like a sporting event. That you're watching a football game, basketball game, whatever it is, it's loud. People aren't afraid to boo you, and that's fun. I like the atmosphere, and I kind of got a taste of that at Hazeltine, and it was the coolest experience, coolest thing I've ever done as far as playing golf that in an atmosphere like that. So hopefully this week can top it, with a win.
Okay, we're going to go Mike 2, just over to the right.
Two things. What did Michael Jordan tell you about winning on the road? And the second thing is, have you heard much about being Player of the Year in the team room? Do they kid you about it? Do you kid them?
Yeah, I heard about it yesterday. I didn't know. Actually, a buddy of mine that worked at Medalist texted me. Aaron, yeah, he texted me. I had no idea. No, we haven't talked about it, and I'm not going to bring it up to him. And then, what was the other one? Oh, Jordan, yeah. Yeah, he talked about how he didn't hear the crowd. It's kind of the same thing, but I think also, too, I took that as he couldn't wait to shut him up. And the second he would go off, it was, you might hear a few boos, whatever it is, but the quieter they are, you're kind of laughing inside. You've done what you wanted to do, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Just Mike 1, sorry, Karen at the front.
So we can't take for granted how many more teams Phil and Tiger will both grace as a player and a teammate of theirs. Does that make this week any extra special, or is there any motivation to, is that the motivation to try to win for them?
I wouldn't say it's motivation. I think everybody's just excited. I don't know anybody that isn't excited that Tiger's is playing as well as he is. Feel like he's back. I think we all know he's been back for a while. It was only a matter of time before he was going to win, and that was a given. But it's nice to see him playing well and in good form coming here. He's a big part of our team, and I'm sure he's just as excited to be here. Missing the last one at President's Cup, and I think I'm excited. I'm excited for him. I know he's ready to go.
Just Mike 3, please, just to the left.
Hey, Brooks, do you have any stories or memories of when you played the French Open here, struggling, trying to make a name for yourself and eventually do what you're doing now?
I don't have any interesting stories from when I was here last time. It was I actually stayed right by kind of where we're staying now. I remember going into town, going to the Palace, Versailles, checking it out, doing a couple like touristy things. I didn't know at the time. I was like going to be back here playing the Ryder Cup. You kind of hope for it, but you don't really know what's going to happen. But it's a beautiful city. It was fun. It was fun to kind of walk around and enjoy the town. But as far as the golf goes, this is probably one of the best golf courses and exciting golf courses, because it kind of reminds me of a major championship. There's a disaster around every corner. Every shot you got to be very focused, and you miss a fairway. Both guys miss a fairway, an alternate shot. Bogey could even win the hole, so you never know.
Just going to stay on Mike 3 in the middle.
Brooks, how much do you think the course setup will neutralize your power game, or will you just continue to bash driver?
No, I'm not. This golf course, I don't think you can. There's a few holes you can hit driver on, but there's not many holes where it sets up. I'm even thinking 9. Perfect example. I can't hit driver. I can still run through into the water if I hit driver. These fairways are a bit firm, so it's gonna. If you land in the fairway, it's gonna go another 20, 30 yards from where it lands, and there's quite a few dog legs, or the hole doesn't dog leg, but the fairway angles. So you're gonna run out even if you hit the fairway, and you can't be in the rough. You can't be. If you want to, there's maybe 5 or 6 holes where you've really got a good birdie chance if you hit the fairway. But if you hit the rough, you're just hoping to make par. And I feel like the importance on fairways here is definitely way more important than length.
Just time for a couple more questions. So Doug on mic 3, please.
What is Tiger like in the team room as a player compared with the vice captain? And from a wider view, you've got a couple of examples like that. Davis is a captain and now a vice, and Cooch and Zach, players and now vice captains. How is that different?
Well, I think he's taking probably more ice baths this week, considering he's playing. Then, riding around in the cart's a little easier on your body. But no, it's fun. Obviously you could look at him as a leader, and kind of feed off him as he goes, and especially coming in off a win. We always, he talks strategy with me at the President's Cup and a little bit on the putting green and things like that. And then you look at this week, he's actually hitting shots. It's one thing to be on the sidelines, and you get an idea, well, it's obvious, don't miss it left, don't miss it right here. But when you're playing, you see shots, he might be able to see something different than what I see going into the hole or going into a different, certain pin location. Hey, it might be better to lay 20, 30 yards back here as opposed to getting it down in that area where you're looking, because it opens up a certain part of the green or the miss is a little bit better, things like that. I think there's definitely an advantage having him play.
Okay, we're just going to go mic 1, please, in the middle.
Brooks, you guys played on Sunday in Atlanta to divide up $30 million in bonus cash. This week you only play for pride. For the person who's not a hardcore golf fan who might tune in this week to watch this event, how would you explain that to them?
Well, we're playing for the United States too. I think that's pretty simple. Yeah, there's no money, but there's definitely a lot of pride, egos, a lot of reputation and kind of, I guess, legacy too, a little bit. I think, people always remember, how many majors you've won, and you definitely don't forget when you lose a Ryder Cup. It's pretty simple. I think we all know it's been a while since we've won one. We've been told it a million times by you guys. We've read it. By other people, guys even on the team now have told us, and it's pretty simple. We need to win.
Last question, please, mic 2, just to the right there.
Yeah, Brooks, we already talked about your background on the European Tour, the Challenge Tour, and your mind game with the major wins, the 3 in the last 15 months. In my opinion, you're one of the key players in the team and the perfect person for this situation. Is this something which makes you proud, and are you happy about this situation?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think anytime you can play an important role in winning a Ryder Cup, I think that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants, that winning putt to win the Ryder Cup or to win your match or whatever the case might be, even if it's on the sidelines cheering the guys on. I think that's you got to be a good teammate, and you got to be ready for anything this week. You don't know what's going to come at you, but I'm excited. I'm excited for the role, a little different role than I've had in the last one, and we're looking forward to it. I'm ready to get started.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, Brooks. Have a
Thank
good
you.
week.
Appreciate it.
And we'll have Rickie Fowler in just a moment as well. Thank you, Rickie, for joining us here today. And I guess let's basically just start and give us your thoughts on France so far and what you've enjoyed and your expectations, what it's been like in the team room for you.
It's been a great trip over here so far. I feel like everyone on the team's had a really good time and enjoying the food and the scenery. Being in the palace last night and having the gala with the other team, getting to see the fireworks afterwards from the Hall of Mirrors. I wish we would get to see more of Paris. There's so much to be seen here, and everything. Like I said, it's been a great week. No troubles whatsoever. The golf course is a really good test. I love the look of it. Love how it's playing, and I think as a team we're just ready to tee it up and get things started tomorrow.
You've had a couple of days here of practice at Le Golf National and seen, the 18 holes. Has it been what you've expected, or what have you thought so far of the course?
Like I said, I really like the look of the golf course. I like the test that it presents for a good player. This is the first week I've seen it, but a few of the guys have played here before, and JT was here playing the French Open earlier this year, and a few guys made a trip over prior to the Open Championship. So I feel like their thoughts and stuff on it were very accurate. It's a golf course that definitely demands you to drive the ball in the fairway, and it's not always going to be a driver, but you have to be playing out of the short grass. Like I said, it's just a really good test. If you don't drive it well, you're definitely gonna struggle, and you're gonna struggle to win your match.
Okay, we're going to open up for questions. Mic 2 on the right-hand side there.
Hi, Rickie. Could you just tell us about the experience of the grand dinner last night in such a exquisite setting when even, I guess, Tiger Woods must have been starstruck for once?
I hope he was. The palace was, just walking in, going through the courtyard and seeing just how big and expansive everything is, and going, we ate downstairs kind of right where you walk in the front door, and afterwards going up to go see the fireworks, walk through, some of the apartments and some of the different rooms, and just seeing how much is going on inside there and how much time it must have taken to, not just build but finish the interiors and the painting and the walls and everything that's involved. It's hard to even imagine, and to think about building that in today's time. But when they did it, I wouldn't have wanted to be doing the manual labor over there. There's a lot of work that went into that place, so very impressive.
Staying on mic 2.
Was the food any good?
Oh, the food was great.
What did you have?
We had filet, zucchini that had some pesto with, there was tomato with a little olive in it, and the mashed potatoes. It was simple, but it was nice. I enjoyed it. We had some good wine, I think from the Rothschild family, and there was a lobster kind of cold bisque soup that we started with. I enjoyed it. I hope everyone else did. Hope that was descriptive enough. You guys hungry?
Next questions. Karen, just at the front on mic 1, please.
Rickie, how much is it in the back of your mind that you're on a team with Phil and Tiger, and you can't take for granted that they will be teammates for, many, if any more, team events? And do you feel like you want to try to appreciate it more? Does it add anything to the week for you?
Yeah, you look at Phil and Tiger, they're on their homeward stretch. We'll be nice to them. It's obviously special and amazing for the sport to have Tiger back playing well and healthy. Him winning last week. Both him and Phil have, been some of the most influential people in the game of golf. To have them a part of the team is, priceless in a way. They bring a lot of intangibles. And for them to be here, we're in a position, with a chance to do something very special. It's not going to be easy by any means. Obviously, we're up against a very tough and stacked European team. But, Tiger and Phil have never won a Ryder Cup over here. And the U.S. hasn't done it in quite some time. And I'd love to be a part of a team that wins over here. I know that would be something that would, in a way, maybe help cap off a missing piece in their careers. So to have the chance to be a part of that, looking forward to that. I know, like I said earlier, we're all ready to go and ready to tee it up tomorrow. And one team has to win, but it definitely is not going to be easy for either side.
Just going to go Mike 4 in the middle, please.
Rickie, coming back to Europe, have you had a chance to reflect back on Wales and that experience, and just to see how much you've changed as a person, as a player since that week?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was a great opportunity that Captain Paven, saw something in me and wanted me to be a part of the team, and may not have got my first full point over there, but I feel like I got helped get some crucial halves. It was definitely an experience that would help me along the way and has helped me, and the more Ryder Cups you play, I think Phil has talked about it a little bit as mentioning he wasn't able to truly appreciate and reflect back on Ryder Cups to really see what they mean until kind of playing a handful himself. I feel like those weeks fly by so fast, the first few that you play. I feel like I'm in a position now where it's not our first time here. We know what to expect. I think you can embrace and take things in a bit more and enjoy the ride through the week. It's nice that Friday is coming up tomorrow because things, like I said, they're moving a little slower, which is a good thing. I feel like it allows me to relax and just be ready to go play some golf. So I'm definitely, like I said, enjoying being, 4 teams in and in a position now that it is, able to kind of soak it up a bit more.
Just going to go Mike 3, just to the left here.
Rickie, Brooks told us that Michael Jordan was here last night. What did you glean from him, and how would you compare him to Tiger as it relates to being competitive?
Well, I'm lucky to get to spend some time with MJ back home in South Florida and play a bit of golf with him. And as you can imagine, he's very competitive. I know you've probably seen him down there as well. Between the courses we play out at home. He's special. I mean, obviously what he did through his career, to be playing basketball, to a little bit of baseball and back to basketball. Hear some of the stories of him talking about some of the, the teams that were the toughest to play, or some of the roughest on the court. Maybe he talked about, the guys that he faced and who he thought were the toughest. Not just as a team, but the individuals that he faced and how he kind of went about home games versus away games, and it's just cool to hear him talk about him going to battle or going to play a big playoff game with his teammates. One that he brought up was when I think they were up 3-0 against Phoenix. And they lost the next 2 and had to go to Phoenix. And he said he packed one suit and one bag and told the guys, we're going there for one job, and it's to go win. And that was just something cool to hear. And it's fun to have the chance to be around guys like him, guys that were very successful and guys that competed at a very high level. He competes at a pretty high level in our sport too. We have some good games at home, so I'm definitely privileged to get the amount of time that I do with him. It's a little bit of both. Hearing his experiences and things he's been through, like you said, how you deal with things, or maybe what he thought about, or his outlook on what was ahead. Sometimes I just love being around him, and like I said, we have a lot of matches, and it's just seeing that competitive side of him, and seeing how he deals with, whether you call it pressure or not, but if he has a big putt, or he's got a really good short game, so when he needs to get something up and down at home, it's cool to see him kind of, just give it that little extra focus, kind of get in the zone for a sec, because there might be 6 or 7 carts running around. We typically play more than 4. So it's fun to see him kind of switch on and off when he needs to make something happen.
Just going to go Mike 1 to the right.
Rickie, you'll remember that brilliant picture from the closing ceremony at Hazeltine when you were the only one not getting a kiss up on the stage. Does it feel different this time? Is it in any way easier when you do have someone who has your back and a bit of extra level of support?
Yeah, I mean, it was great being over and being able to be a part of these team events and just be on my own and get to see them and be a part of them. But yeah, it's a lot better having someone you actually get to share it with, and not go back to your room and just be by yourself. You get to hear about the day and what the girls did, and I can talk to Allison and tell her what's going on, what we did at the course, or whatever. No, we're having a blast. It'd be nice if we can be successful this week and relive that picture, and I'll actually have someone to kiss. Yeah, we can make fun of Bryson on this one or something.
Mike 3 in the middle, please.
Yeah, Rickie, when Dustin was in here, he was asked about the two of you potentially playing together and his thoughts on the pairing. What would you think of playing with Dustin? Why would that be a potentially good pairing for you? And does your, being together in Jupiter a little bit here and there, does that help as well?
Yeah, we have a few potential pairings, and we've played a bit the last few days, and I think when that pairing was brought up, I didn't really have a whole lot to say. I mean, Dustin can't say no or this doesn't. I mean, just let him play. We'll find a way to make it work. Number 1 player in the world. He's very talented, and not just him. I mean, there's the guys on the team. I'm not going to say no to playing with really any of them, but Dustin especially. I think anyone would be kind of stupid to say that they weren't willing to go to battle with him.
We've just got time for a couple more.
Yeah,
so
I wanted to
Mike
follow
3.
up just how important this first session is. I mean, every session is obviously important, but just the first one to get off to a decent start. Is there a little emphasis on that?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, look at it like a Thursday at a tour event. I mean, you're obviously not going to go out and win it on Thursday. You're not going to go win it in the first session, but you need to put yourself in a position where you're not kind of behind the 8 ball and trying to play catch up the rest of the way. So, yeah, getting off to a good start tomorrow morning, and whether that's 2-2, 3-1, whatever it may be, you don't want to go out and be put behind the 8 ball and then be trying to claw your way back. Because I think that both teams, being on either side, you don't want to be down 4 out of the gate. Obviously, I don't want to be down 4 to the Euros, and they don't want to be down 4 to us. So I've mentioned it a few times. It's going to be a fun, some darn good golf's going to be played, and it's going to be tough for both sides.
Okay. And on that note, I think we'll let you go, Rickie. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.